We are back with the Homeschool Show, the second episode of season 5. We are still talking about dads today, all things dads. And I am so excited that we talked to some great dads. We have some awesome interviews today. Again, I am your host, Amanda Wares, and this is the Homeschool Show from North Carolinians for Home Education. I have with me my awesome co-host, Melanie Willis. Hey, Melanie.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going good today. It's going real good. I'm excited.
Yes, me too. All right. So tell everybody, what do we have today?
So as you just said, this is the second episode in our series on dads. So if you did not see last week's episode, you definitely should go back and watch that. We had 2 wonderful interviews with Matthew McDill and Tom Gerganis. And so we have 2 more interviews this week. And then we are also going to get back to what we've seen on the internet and answer a couple of questions for you. And then we will end with some homeschool news.
Awesome. All right. So our first interview was with David Smith, and that's super awesome. David his wife, Jennifer, is on our NCHE board. And he is a member of the dad's team. He has been helping. He helped out with being a regional liaison in his area. He is a super involved dad. So it was fun to talk to him. Let's check it out. I am here at the lovely Benton Convention Center, Thrive 2025, and I'm here with David Smith. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So I know that your wife, Jennifer, was homeschooled in high school. She was a homeschool grad. But I don't know, what did you think? Did she come up with the idea to homeschool your kids and come to you with it? Or did you both at the same time? What did you think about that?
So I was not homeschooled. I was a product of the public schools in Mecklenburg County. And when my wife kind of pushed me with the idea, at first I was kind of, whatever. I was one of those dads who, that's your thing, not mine. But as we started and we kind of got into it, I got more and more involved. And now I'm at the point where it's us, it's not her. And obviously we're both here, we're both on the board, all that. And we really care about what goes on in our local and state and even with our own kids. So.
Yeah, that is so awesome. And I think it's so encouraging for lots of dads out there that, maybe they don't have the experience yet, but it's a journey. It's a journey, right? And when you start, it's okay. You'll learn as you go.
You definitely will.
Yeah, take those small steps. So what do you like about being a part of the dad's team with NCHE? What have you enjoyed about that?
I'd say one of the biggest things that I've enjoyed about that is having the opportunity to affect other dads, other men, and just to kind of see what we can do and where we're going, what guys, what dads, what men need when it comes to homeschooling. And we're realizing that there's a lot. Like I know when we did the dad's retreat a year and a half ago, I'd say, about half the attendees were the homeschool parent.
Right.
So seeing that and kind of seeing what dads need and what their role is has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's so encouraging, and something maybe in the years that I've been homeschooling, I feel like dads have been a little bit on the outside. So I love that you guys are really reaching out, intentionally to pull dads in and say, you're not just on the margins. You're a part of this. It's us, not just mom, or, you're not just
Definitely.
over there. Yeah.
With the, godly Christian worldview aspect of it all, the dad is supposed to be involved. It is,
right.
If you look at, I guess in terms of vertical alignment, it's God, family. And so the dad, being the head of the household, should definitely be involved in and part of homeschooling.
Yeah, absolutely. So if there's a dad out there that's watching and listening right now, and maybe his wife is really wanting to homeschool or already really into homeschooling, and he's feeling like not so sure, what would you say to him?
I would say that those two people need to have a great conversation. And certainly I'm one who, gives something a try. Maybe it's for the family, maybe it's not.
Yeah.
You don't really know until you see what's out there, depending on when it is, Come to Thrive, if it's next year, or look for our recordings. We have some talks specifically for dads. And then,
That's a great
also, if you have any questions, whether it's going through, especially if it's here in North Carolina, go through your local liaison, or you can reach out to dads directly on our committee at dads@nche.com,
Yes.
and we can answer any questions.
I love that. That is so great.
So, Amanda,
Right.
from
Yes.
this interview, what really got me was actually something you said. So-
Okay.
Yeah, I know. You said dads don't just have to be in the margins. That was perfect. You
Yeah.
summed it up perfectly. I loved that.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, exactly what I said on there. I feel like even when I first started homeschooling 20 years ago, I felt like it was very mom focused, and it still is, but more and more and more, I'm hearing from dads that are the primary teacher
Mhm.
in their homeschool. I think that's really growing. I think dads being more involved is really growing, and I'm so glad to see that. That's just awesome.
It's wonderful.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. And I loved that he really talked about he and Jennifer homeschooling as a team. I love that too. That really stuck out to me, that it's really, even if dad's at work all day, you're still a team.
That's right.
It's not you and me and what you're doing over there. It's us. It's all of us as a family. So I love that.
Definitely. It's you're always a team. And, no matter, like you said, if he's at work, if he only steps through the room a couple of times during the day or something just to say hello, he's part of it. And I
Yes.
know, here in my house, my husband does work from home. And so he's downstairs all day. And even my sister's kids, when they do something, they'll run downstairs to him real quick to show him what they did. And, just that little bit, they know they want to show him and they know that he cares. It's a big deal.
Yes, it really is. The other thing that I really loved that David shared that I want you guys that are out there watching and listening to really hone in on was the resources that are available for dads. That if you come to Thrive, which you should, there are sessions just for dads. If you haven't made it to Thrive, or even if you did and you want to revisit, there are sessions all our sessions are recorded. There are recordings just for dads that you can purchase and download. There is your regional liaisons. Those are great opportunities. Whether the dad is on the page as a regional liaison or not, you can always reach out to your liaison and say, hey, I'm a dad. I need some support. That's awesome. And of course, we talked about it last time, our dad's team. That is a great resource for support, help, encouragement, being equipped. So reach out to them at dads@nche.com. So I loved that too.
And we will include a link to the website specifically for the dads.
Yes. All right. Next up, I absolutely love this interview. Lynn Pierre is so much fun, and he is just a wealth of knowledge, and just, I love how he shares and communicates. It's really just wonderful.
Hi, this is Melanie Willis with the Homeschool Show, and I'm here today with Lynn Pierre. And so I wanted to ask you, as a homeschool parent, dad specifically, what are your thoughts on homeschooling?
Oh my gosh, that's a
Question.
huge
I know.
question. What I can say about homeschooling, I'll take you back to a story. My oldest son was in middle school, and I remember waking up in the morning and waking him up for school, sending him off to school, and I believe I was driving him to school. So I would get him up for breakfast, drive him to school. He went to school. I went to work all day. And then by the time I got home from work, it was time for dinner, review your homework, and go to bed. So if you can imagine, as a dad, you want to be there with your children. And I just wasn't. And it wasn't that I was doing anything wrong, but I just knew that there had to be a better way. So flipping around to the next, I'll just say 5 years, just fast forward a little bit. I get up and still wake him up, but he hangs around the house. And then later on in the day, there's a multiple times my wife will bring him out to work with me. Hello. So in the middle of the day, while I'm doing what I've been trained to do, my son is there. So it's not like my son knows that his dad goes off to work and then comes home late at night. He actually sees what I'm doing throughout the day. And so that interaction of my son and me, like at work, doing real life stuff was priceless. And the fact that, when you're hanging out with your kids, that car time is real special. And if you compare me having car time with my kids as opposed to bus time with a bunch of other kids,
That's right.
it's been priceless. So it really has been I don't know how to say it, because we homeschooled the majority of the kids the whole time. But I feel like the relationship that I have with my children is something that I would have never had if they were actually in public school, because I have so many opportunities to be with them and for them to be in my environment and for me to be in their environment. So it's absolutely priceless from a dad's point of view.
That is so incredibly well worded.
Oh, yeah.
And there's just so much time that if they're going away for school, you don't get that time back. Our time with them is so short.
Yes.
And so now I feel like we have experienced life together, and they see all the things, me having been to public school, sometimes I feel like I came home and all these decisions were made and things happened
Yes.
that I missed out on. Whereas now my children see that process.
Yes.
They know the things that are going on, and they know the thought process that went into why my husband and I make the decisions that we make.
Mm-hmm.
Or, and even sometimes, us having to sit down as a family
And make them
say,
together.
these are decisions we need to make. Can you help? And you get an input in what we're doing. And I know that could happen in a public school environment, but I think that there's so much more chance of that
Right.
in what we're doing in the homeschooling right now. And just that time that we spend together is invaluable.
One thing, hearing you talk about the times together making decisions makes me think of my wife and cooking. My wife does all the cooking. I try not to do any of the cooking, but she has taught all the kids to cook at a young age. And there's no way in the world she would have been able to do that with the school.
Right.
Because she's already busy, but she took them through how to do breakfast, how to do lunch, how to do dinner. One quick example, today, we were down at breakfast and my wife wasn't there, but my oldest daughter was there and my other 3 kids were there. And we had some leftover breakfast. So, and it was piled on a bunch of plates or whatever. But there's another family that was going to come down and have breakfast. So they might as well have the breakfast that we didn't touch and we didn't eat. So my oldest child, just knowing the way she's been trained by a mother, she fixed up 3 separate plates and separated all the waffles and separated all the bacon and set up really nicely for the next family that was coming. And there's no way she would have known how to do that without me asking her to do it, except for the fact that she was homeschooled and with her mom, and she saw all those little decisions like you're talking about. She saw all those little decisions along the way, and it produces that. It produces that type of love and joy and just giving and just like teaching young women how to be mothers. And so that's extremely special for me.
That gift of hospitality. And that's part of that doing life together, because school doesn't have to take from 7:30 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon.
No.
And then we have the rest of the day to do life, and you learn so
So
crazy much
much.
through just doing life that's missed if you're sending them away for the day.
Right.
Them doing life with you is us truly doing what God wants us to do and bringing up our children.
Yeah.
They're seeing us do life. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, I love
And
it.
so on another note, because
Yeah.
you're involved in leading a homeschool group, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yeah,
Can
level
you
up.
tell us about that?
Yeah, what you want to know? Well, it's an awesome community. The most exciting thing about the community is that we're bringing everybody together. We feel like homeschooling is better together. Everything is better together. So we have social events, we have classes, we have everything, but we're working on doing everything together. We want our kids not only to be able to sit down at a book and read and be able to regurgitate the information on the book, but we want the kids to be able to work with adults and kids in partnerships to do whatever it is God's called them to do. So we're really developing a whole community of homeschoolers and homeschool families that want to do stuff together to further whatever the vision God has given them for their lives.
That's absolutely wonderful.
Oh.
And so you being a homeschool dad involved with, and so is there other dads involved? Because usually you see these groups and the moms are doing this stuff, the
Yes.
dads aren't there. And so I really like your situation where you are a dad that is highly involved.
Oh yeah, very involved.
How did that happen?
Well, it happened because my wife again. When I first got involved with my kids when they were up in high school, I was a physical therapist, so that's what I do for a living. And she said something like, would you like to come out and teach? And so I said, yeah, I guess I could teach a couple of days. So I started teaching one class, and then I get involved with the leadership of the organization. And since I've been there was one other male teacher there, but now, no, there's two other male teachers there. So I was the third. And since that time, we've had one, two, three, like 3 or 4 more males come. So we're getting more of a male presence at the school. So that is priceless. And these are guys that some of them, this is what they do for a living, but other ones, they have careers and everything, but they take time out of their schedule to show up and teach these other young men and young ladies. And so it's so awesome to see these men there on campus showing up, teaching the kids.
And what is that teaching their kids? That just simply they're taking the time to be part of what's going on. That's just wonderful. Thank you so much for talking with us today.
You're welcome.
You have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. I love that you got to talk to Lempiere. He's so awesome.
Yes,
and go ahead.
He's just super sweet. And it's like just listening to him, you can tell that he has the absolute best heart. It's just wonderful. I always enjoy spending time with him. And, he really hit the nail on the head. He talked about all that time that we get to spend with our kids when they're at home with us instead of leaving for 8 and 9 hours a day. And that he has the experience both ways and he knows that difference. And you can tell it was passionate for him. And he said, for them to be in my environment and for me to be in theirs. How amazing. So well spoken.
Good. I loved that. I know. I love that too. That was my favorite thing. Both the examples that he gave of his wife bringing his kids to his work so they could see them at his environment. I loved the example he gave of his wife and his kids learning how to cook alongside his wife. And we talk about that gift of time constantly, but it is true. You just can't trade it. There is no substitute for that time. And being able to be with your kids day in, day out, whether it's at the workplace, at home, whatever it is, it's just awesome. I love that so much.
Yep. And you'll just continue to hear us talk about that because there is that is the homeschooling thing. Just like, in the previous episode when Tom said you're homeschooling, whether you're a homeschool parent or not, because that time that we can't get back. And, and I have half of my kids do not live in this house anymore. That time is over. And I am so glad that I homeschooled and I had all day long with them most days. So it's just, you can't get that back.
It's awesome. I love that so much. All right. And if I wanted to point out to you guys out there, if you love Lempiere as much as we do, you can look back at previous seasons of the Homeschool Show, and he was a frequent co-host. So you can find episodes with more Lempiere because he's awesome, and you might want to check that out.
That's right. That's right.
Hello, homeschool friends. I just want to take a moment to invite you to become a member of NCHE. NCHE membership gives you community. It's not just about the benefits, it's about belonging. Hey, my name is Matthew McDill. I'm executive director, and our family has been a part of NCHE as members for many years. When you become a member, there are ways that you can enjoy community that are special. For example, we have a statewide members-only graduation. We can all get together and celebrate that special time together. We also have field trips all across the state, and we try to open up as many as we can of these field trips to early registration for members only. So you'll be able to hang out with members at these Phil's trips also. We have a great mentorship program for members. You'll be able to talk with our NCHE mentors. Also, we have a monthly members only email. You'll get the inside scoop. And besides your special benefits for that month, we're going to let you know how you can pray for us on the NCHE leadership team. And we would love to find out how we can pray for you. That's family, caring about each other, staying in contact with each other. Not only this, but when you become a part of NCHE, you are fueling our mission. We're going to be able to more effectively protect, equip, and connect families across the state. So let's join together as a big homeschool family to make homeschooling even better in North Carolina. Go to nche.com/join and find out how to join today.
All right, Amanda. So I'm ready to put you on hot seat and ask you a couple of questions from what we've seen on the internet. Okay. So
All right.
we would be remiss to not do this question because, of course, it is the beginning of the school year. And so many new homeschoolers are out there discussing, how do I get started? And I think, Amanda, we need to discuss about withdrawing once they have been in public school.
Correct. So, yes, this is a hot question. It happens every year. And, you know, it can be confusing. It can be intimidating, but promise you can do it. It's no big deal. So, once, if you have a child that has been in a public school in particular, you have to formally withdraw them. Even if they're 5 or 6 and they're not compulsory attendance age yet, if they're 5 or 6, you don't need to open your own homeschool, but you absolutely do have to withdraw them if they have been in public school, or they will be truant. And we don't want to go down that road. So make sure you withdraw them. If they are above the age, if they're 7 or older, you do want to open your homeschool first. There's a process. So you open your homeschool first, then you will withdraw them. But you do have to do both of those things if they're over the age of 7.
And then I want to mention on our website, we have a webinar available about how to get started homeschooling. And Amanda, you re-recorded an episode, didn't you?
I did. So there is a video. I don't know if this is the one you're talking about, but there is a video under helps getting started. And we have step by step how to get started. The second step is open your school. And there's a great video on there of me walking through the process of filing that notice of intent to homeschool in real time. So if you're confused at all about what the process is to open your homeschool, that's where to go.
So we will include links in the notes to get to our website and all of the wonderful things for new homeschoolers. Awesome. And so, Amanda, our next question is basically about what constitutes a class. What can you use to give credit for a class? And this question came specifically from someone that was trying to use they needed a foreign language credit and wanted to know, could you use Rosetta Stone? Could you use an app? So what counts as a class?
Okay. So this is a little bit of a loaded question, but the short answer is, and new parents, I tell them this and I feel like they hate it when I tell them this because I'll say it over and over, but once you open your homeschool, you are the private school, which means you decide. You decide the graduation requirements. You decide what counts as a class or not. So that is the short answer, is it's up to you. I know that can be confusing. It can be scary. It's up to you. It's all on your shoulders. But the longer answer of that is that unless your child is going to be playing sports in college, or unless they're going to a super, super Ivy League school, no school that I'm aware of is asking for course descriptions or what curriculum you used. or, work samples or any of that. Now, if your child is playing sports in college, that's a different story. If you're going to some, major Ivy League school, that may be a different story as well. But in general, you as the private school, you as the homeschool, if you determine that this course, whether it's Rosetta Stone, whether it's Duolingo, whether it's a full curriculum that you bought somewhere or whatever, if you decide as the homeschool administrator, as the teacher, that class counts as a credit for you, then it counts. You put it on your transcript, it counts. If it's good enough for you and you put it on that transcript, then if your child's going to college or whatever, they're going to look at your transcript and they're going to say, your private school, your homeschool has counted that as a credit, so it counts.
That's right. And, because that transcript is really what everybody's looking at. And as an example, my homeschool, for the most part, we're using solid curriculums that, we've purchased from reputable homeschool curriculum providers. But my students have all had music credits, drama credits that were simply because they are highly involved in a lot of musical things on a weekly basis. Or
Right.
we had a time period where we lived on a farm. And so they all got agricultural credits because they were working that farm many hours every day. And they did learn all kinds of things. And so that was counted as a credit.
Yes, 100%. I know if you Google what counts as a credit, you're going to get a lot of different answers. Again, the real answer is it's up to you. But there is some sources out there that will say, well, if your child spends a certain number of hours in a year, and usually that's like 120 to 180 hours in a year. Again, that's a wide range, but the kind of generally accepted thing is if they spend that amount of time in a year, it counts as a full credit class.
Right.
Once again, I'm going to say it one more time, maybe for the fourth or fifth time. It is really up to you. But if you want some guidance, there's a little bit of a guideline there.
It really is a freeing thought when, as a parent, a homeschool parent, you finally absorb, I don't have to recreate what I did growing up in public school.
Yes.
It's very
know.
freeing that
It is.
you
I
are
feel
in
like
charge.
Yes. I feel like after 20 years, I am just now maybe getting there. But
Absolutely. And so while we're on the topic, let's go ahead. Can we talk about the word accredited?
oh my, yes, indeed. I have seen that word flying around on the internet in the last
Yes.
few days everywhere. Okay, let's do it. First of all, curriculum is not accredited. There is no such thing as accredited curriculum. There are institutions that are accredited. Schools, colleges, institutions can be accredited. So it could be that an institution that is accredited has put out a curriculum. But again, the curriculum itself is not accredited. That's the first thing to know. The second thing to know is I can't even think of a situation in which having an accredited institution using their curriculum would be an advantage over not. I can't think of an example where that would be of benefit to you. A lot of times, people, organizations, curriculum will throw around the word accredited to get customers. Truly, it's a marketing technique. But I am telling you, I've been doing this for 20 years. Melanie's been doing this for a long time. You can ask any homeschooler that is experienced, and they will tell you there is no benefit to using accredited whatever over non.
Very good. It's important for everybody to hear that, to truly understand that. Okay.
Absolutely.
So
All right,
we will
news.
move on to homeschool news. And so, as we mentioned last time, on September 11th, there will be an online free chess workshop through the Chess Network, and that registration is available on our website right now. I will include a link below, but you can just go to nche.com and scroll over to activities, and underneath there, you at the very bottom, you will see Chess Network. And then next, we have our very first field trip of the year to Grandfather Mountain, and that will be on September 29th, and that registration is available online underneath activities and field trips. And then lastly, right now, members only are able to pre-register for the Nutcracker for this December, and that always sells out. And so if you are a member, you can go on and register now for the Nutcracker.
Absolutely. I wanted to piggyback onto that, just talk about the Chess Network for just a minute. My son, my current 16-year-old, has been involved in the Chess Network over a couple of years, and it is really neat. So, in addition to this free workshop that is great, the teacher, the gentleman that presents this workshop, is very, very good at what he does, and it's a great opportunity. There's also several chess tournaments that are available a couple times a year. There really is a whole network. There are chess clubs, homeschool specific chess clubs all around the state. And if you want more information about that, you can join the Chess Network for NCHE, and they'll tell you all about those opportunities. So if you have a young chess player in your life, definitely check that out. It's awesome.
Yeah, so it sounds like now is a great time here at the beginning of the year to go ahead and participate in that first online session so you can kind of get to know things.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't have to be like a super amazing professional chess player to participate in all of these. You can just, if your child knows how to play chess, they'll have an opportunity. It's great.
That's wonderful.
All right. So that is all we have for you today. As always, please like, share, subscribe. It helps us so much. If you have a friend out there, you have somebody you know that needs information about homeschooling that could be encouraged or equipped or helped by what we've shared today, please share this with them. Make sure you send it to them and say, hey, this is the show for you. Subscribe. As always, also, we welcome your feedback. We want to hear from you. So please send us any questions, any comments, any feedback, any ideas you have for future segments. We want to hear that too. You can always reach us at thehomeschoolshow@nche.com. Last but not least, we are so happy, so grateful that you have joined us for this episode today. And as always, we want you to homeschool with confidence and joy. So until next time, we'll see ya. Bye-bye.